Are we in a recession? You might hear my dog drinking his water over there. Are you all done there, drinking? All right, so something I've been thinking about today is this is the inverted yield curve graph. This is the constant maturity of a 10-year treasury over a 3-month treasury. And here's the line right here at 0. So anytime it goes below the line, that's an inverted yield curve. That means the short-term bond rates are paying more than long-term bond rates. And remember a few years ago, back in 2019, everyone was freaking out about the inverted yield curve. I'll never forget. I did videos on it. I said, oh my goodness, the inverted yield curve, that means a recession's coming. Wow, guard your women, lock up your daughters. I said, did you know if you eat carrots, you will die? If you eat carrots, you will die. There's a 100% correlation between eating carrots and dying. Did you know that? And the same thing here. There's a 100% correlation between an inverted yield curve and a recession, right? Anyway, so go back. Oh, wait, there's no inverted yield curve here in 1962, and yet that's a recession. So these gray are recessions. Gray are recessions. No, we're not going outside. No, every single time. No. And what you're going to see is, we see these grays are recessions, all right? And you can see the yield curve is inverted there. And then this is in 1989. Then we had a recession in 1990, about a year later, right? An inverted yield curve in December 2000, and then we had a recession 6 months later or so. Interesting, even though we initially hit the inverted yield curve right there. So basically a year later, inverted yield curve twice, dead cat bounce twice there. March of 2007 and October 2006, the recession happened here. Inverted yield curve right there, recession right there. Inverted yield curve all these years. Now, the funny thing is, here's the inverted yield curve in 2019. No one knew about coronavirus. No one knew. Interesting. So the inverted yield curve obviously led us to have the recession. Here we have the inverted yield curve right here in December 2000. All right, well, no one knew about the terrorist attacks in 2001. Did they, though? Did they? Anyway, at the end of the day, you're like, well, but Josh, the high PE ratios. Okay, high PE ratios don't lead to an inverted yield curve necessarily. It just doesn't. But be that as it may, no one knew a recession was here. Here we had an inverted yield curve in 1989. No one knew about the Gulf War, which is happening right here in 1990. And I don't remember what happened in 1982. I remember Reagan and whatnot, but I don't know exactly what was going on here. The rates were going up, that's for sure. Anyway, so then so what led to the recession? I don't know. But the funny thing is, so everyone and their mom says, look, that's proof positive of a recession. Look, every time there's an inverted yield curve, there's a recession. Every time there's an inverted yield curve, you can see it, proof positive. The interesting thing, though, my friends, is no one knew we were in a recession until it was behind us, except for right here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to go to newspapers.com. I'm going to say official recession. We're going to click on this right here, 2008. No one knew we were in a recession. So remember, this recession right here started in 2000 and right there. January 2008 was when the recession started. It wasn't actually formulated. That was official right here. Right here. The National Bureau of Economic Research. The National Bureau of Economic Research announced a few days ago, this is December of 2008, that the recession began last January, which was a full year ago. So in December 2008, right there is when the National Bureau of Economic Research announced that a recession had begun way back here. So no one knew we were in a recession here. No one knew it. Crazy. I mean, you can even argue, this whole coronavirus thing was so stupid, but even here, so let's go back here. Let's say, when was it announced that there was a recession in 2001? Let's take a look, shall we? It is in October 2022. Hold on a second. Here's October. I want to go here. Here it is in July of 1980. Is the U.S. economy in a recession? This is July of 1980. So let's go back here. In July of 1980, or was it 1990? Excuse me, 1990. We were in a recession right here. It started in June of 1990 and it ended in February 1999. But here it is in July of 1990. It says to the government, are we in a recession? Oh. And right here, the official definition of recession was established by the NBER, measures recession, blah, blah, blah. But they hadn't announced it yet. Now this guy says, don't tell him, this Richard Lyon and his son tried to make a living with a 2-truck shipping operation. Don't tell him we're not in a recession. But it hadn't been defined yet. So just because Richard Lyon was in a recession doesn't mean the economy was. Turns out they were, but no one knew because the NBR didn't define it yet. Hope that makes sense. So let's go back here. Even go back to 1982. It's just indicating a recession. This is in September 1981. And you can see the recession, it doesn't even go back that far, but you can see right here, nation's economic activity indicates official recession. The government estimated that the nation is posting a modest decline in the third quarter, the latest indication that the economy is in an official recession. But they didn't announce it yet because MBERs who announces recessions. So we don't know. But here we are in 1974, and you knew there was a recession then, but yet statistics stymie official recession. They didn't even call it yet. Check this out. In ordinary times, that would have qualified for an official recession, but the NBER, a private group recognized as the country's chronicle of booms and busts, said the picture was too mixed. And this doesn't go back far enough. I wonder if I can make it go back far enough. Actually, let's see here. I guess not. I guess as far back as we can go. Anyway, at the end of the day, no one knows nothing. No one knows nothing. This is what's crazy. None of these guys knew it was a recession until a year in. They didn't know this was a recession until it was over. They didn't know this was a recession until about a year in. And here is 82. They kind of didn't know that. That was pretty obvious because that was a bad. But no one really actually knew. They didn't actually call it until 2 quarters in, until half a year is in. If anything, what tells me is that high interest rates, you can make an argument, high interest rates get us out of the recession. Isn't that interesting? So high interest rates, no more recession. 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 High interest rates, no recession. I mean, no one knows, dude. Just the whole thing's so stupid. They're like, oh my goodness, we're going to a recession. We're going to blah, blah, blah. It's just no one knows anything. This is always backwards looking. I don't care what the NBR, the recession, it's always a looking 6 months back, 2 quarters. It's just stupid, man. And that's why in 2020, that's why I wanted to read here. This one from 2022. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Because 2022 was 2 consecutive contractions of GDP. That's just a fact. So we're going to come right here. But they didn't call it a recession. It's the weirdest thing. It's right here. The first and second quarter economic contraction, however, was not deemed an official recession. Okay. The NBR considers other factors besides economic growth. Okay. And decided whether the economy has or had not entered an official recession. They determined other things. I never heard that before, but there you go. So they haven't called it. No one knows. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem to me that we're in a recession. But who knows, man? That's the whole point is, does that change your investments? Why would it change your investments? We're officially in a recession. I better change my investments. You shouldn't change your investments. But if you're going to change your investments, you do it before they announce a recession. It's kind of like when people say, oh my goodness, interest rates are going to go up. So what's the thing about bonds? Let me think this through just a second. I can't remember. I'm going to wait till interest rates start going down before I buy bonds. I'm like, oh, why? If you think interest rates are going down, you want to buy bonds now because if interest rates go down, the price of bonds goes up. You see what I'm saying? So if we have bonds, the interest rates right here, and you expect the interest rates to go here, when you buy a bond here, not only are you getting a higher interest rate, but when the price goes down, the bond price goes up. So you're getting some capital appreciation as well. You don't wait till the interest rates start going down before you buy the bonds. You buy them when you think the interest rates are, which, I've been early. I've been over it's a year now since I've been with some long bonds. Been way early. At some point it's going to pop, or it might not. I don't know, but I'm getting 4.5% on guaranteed government bonds. I'll take that to the bank, baby. It's crazy. You don't ever invest based on looking in hindsight. You always invest basically looking in the future. And the future says, what's your likelihood of this happening in terms of interest rates, economic growth, and whatnot. And at the end of the day, you don't know. I don't know. No one knows nothing. If you do know, if you eat carrots, you're going to die. So don't eat carrots. Oh, you'll still die. It's kind of weird. Correlation doesn't equal causation. Never heard that? Anyway, the point being is, man, just get a good portfolio. Say, I'm comfortable with the portfolio I have. Stocks, some cash, some bonds. I'm working hard to pay off debt. I'm not going to change it because of recession. I'm not going to change it because of repo stuff. I didn't even know what the hell a repo was until 5 years ago. And I was like, what? Why is all people worried about cars being repossessed? It was the weirdest thing. Oh, don't you know about the repo markets? No. I'm a crafty old vet. If I didn't know about it, you don't need to know about it. All right, love your thoughts. God bless.